My name's Dr. John Sargent. This is my introductory video. I will be the instructor for our Management 6301 Survey of Management class. Welcome. I know a bunch of you are joining the MBA program for the first time. Some of you are just, the others are just in your first semester or two. It's a pleasure to have you in class. We're going to have a good time this semester. Principles of Management, this particular course is fascinating. We're going to cover some very interesting material. This class is not meant to be gigantically difficult. I'm not trying to flunk you. We're going to have a good time this semester. So, as an introductory video, let's jump in just a little and talk about the course. So, I've been teaching at UT Pan American for starting my 19th year. Been here a long time. UT Rio Grande Valley. Of course, we're starting with our new university this fall semester. Originally from a little place called Brigham City, Utah, in the northern mountains. Got my PhD at the University of Washington, up in Seattle back in 1994. Worked at Florida International University in Miami for a while, and have been here in the Rio Grande Valley since 1997. This is a fascinating part of the world. We have some very interesting things going on. I've done a lot of stuff in Latin America over the years. That's what initially attracted me to the area. Did a lot of research on maquiladoras. But for the last 10 years or so, I've really been interested in the topic of entrepreneurship. Basically starting and growing companies. Of course, the management process is key to that. So I'm involved here on campus, in the community, in a lot of activities designed to promote entrepreneurship and facilitate the start and growth of companies. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure we'll have a good time. If you're not gigantically interested, please become so, or at least fake it well, because we'll be talking about entrepreneurship throughout the course, especially towards the last, and of course, but the overall class is about management. Management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling people in organizations. So let's talk about some of the more specifics within the course. You've got, of course, your syllabus is available on Blackboard. If you have any questions about Blackboard, feel free to email me. I'm always available. I live on email, and chances are very good I will respond to you quickly if you have questions about Blackboard and, of course, about other aspects of the course. So we're going to learn about management. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about how I'm going to be evaluating you. This course is built off of the concept that you can learn some stuff from books. You can learn some stuff from the instructor, but the most valuable learning resource in this class and in any good MBA program is your fellow students. So I'm looking to facilitate interactions involving everybody, all sources of information, but especially between the students in this class. Many of you have fascinating experiences within the world of business. And for example, the insights you've demonstrated or learned and being a manager or subjected to managers, those experiences can facilitate learning for all of us. So one way that we facilitate that learning is through extensive discussion boards within this class. Pretty much within each class you're going to have 2 or 3 discussion boards, and it's critical that you follow the deadlines involved with those discussion boards. For example, with Week 1, Module 1, you need to get through the material and post brilliant things on the discussion board with your initial posts by Saturday night. And then you'll read over a bunch, if not all, of the other students' comments, and you'll respond to those and increasing knowledge through dialogue on those discussion boards, and finish that up by Sunday night. And then for Module 2, you'll need to get through and do your initial post by Monday night and follow-up post by Tuesday night. So those deadlines are deadlines. They're not suggestions, and we all need to be moving more or less at the same pace and making comments in a timely fashion to maximize learning from each other. So that's critically important. Lots of info in the syllabus here about the discussion boards. Make sure you review that. We are going to have a couple exams, provide a little bit of detail about those, and reaction papers. This is basically an opportunity for you to investigate a certain topic we're covering in the course and write that up. So little blurbs about those here. Also at the end of the syllabus, I've got lots of information about how I'm going to evaluate you on the discussion boards, on the exams, and on the reaction papers. So once we'll get into some of the material, that will be clearer. And of course, if you have questions, let me know. Let's just go back to the discussion boards a little bit. Again, I emphasize these as being critically important to the class. And in a bunch of other classes, you're going to have coaches that are the people who are going to be looking at discussion boards and not the main prof involved in the class. I think discussion boards are so important that I look, I read, and I evaluate each of those discussion board posts myself. I don't delegate those to somebody else. That's how I'm not a masochist. That's just that important to the class, that we're maximizing learning through that. In this class, I used to have a clip about Steve Jobs' management philosophy. And one of those is that A players like to work with other A players. Great performers, great technologists, great designers, great managers like to work with other great people who are good at what they're doing. And the rule here in this class is that you bring your A game to the discussion boards. Don't post anything that's not part of your A game. If we set that and follow that rule at the start, bring your A game, that's going to facilitate learning and make things a lot more pleasant and interesting for everyone involved. So enough about the overall structure of the course. It's pretty straightforward. With discussion boards, with exams, with reaction papers. All right, so let's talk about some of the material. What are we talking about with leadership? I mean, with management, planning, organizing, leading, controlling are the main gist of what the management field is all about. We cover, as part of the managerial world, a bunch of other fascinating topics, such as globalization, such as ethics, such as organizational culture, such as leadership, motivation, and finally we've got a module on entrepreneurship. So this material for people in business, I think, is very interesting. We're all subject to managerial action, and the more we learn about it, the more that's going to help us be good and great managers when we have that opportunity. So those are just some of the basics. Lots of other information basically that we're required to put in our syllabus with the people in charge here. And again, we have reaction paper rubrics and other information about how I'm going to grade you at the end. So hopefully you found this introductory video useful. A couple other things. Of course, this is an online course, but we want to facilitate interaction as much as possible, especially when it answers critical questions. As mentioned, I'm always available on email. I also have a Skype address that you got there, and I think the Blackboard instant messaging is also working here. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have questions about course structure, about material. And of course, I'm going to be reading all your discussion board postings and occasionally contributing when I think it's particularly important. So we'll get to know each other very well over the next 7 weeks. All right, so much for an intro. I'm going to sign off and post this, and I'm ready to get going.